Thanks very much, Don, and it's a pleasure to open the second day. I think yesterday was a very successful exercise, and I'm sure that the lineup that we've got this morning and this afternoon is only going to add to that. This morning we've got Lynn Chester and Luke Hartsuker. I think these are important representations of the bipartisanship that this industry supports. We saw it yesterday with Alana, but the fact that Lynn Chester, whose shadow responsibilities are in agriculture, in regional development, is a strong supporter of this sector, and along with Joel and many in the caucus, they are very strong advocates for the industry. She represents the seat of Bendigo, so a regionally based seat as well. So we look forward to Lynn's presentation and welcome. Not only a colleague of mine and a good friend, she's a friend of the sector, so that's really important. So far as Luke is concerned, we've also had an excellent relationship with him. In fact, when Luke was first appointed minister, the first visit he sought was to come to the Northern Territory and have a look at the supply chain. We took him up there, we had him up there for a couple of days, and we were able to impress upon him the issues that were important, and he will be speaking at lunchtime. And Jeff Raby, who is also a good friend, he was a great ambassador for Australia in China for 5 years. He was there with the commencement of the free trade agreement, which has now come to fruition. He's a consultant, well respected on China matters, and we're delighted, Jeff, that you've accepted the opportunity to come here and address us, because we all understand the importance of the China market, and we'll look forward to your reflections. So far as the sector is concerned, I just want to reiterate the importance of it to the economy. It's worth $18 billion in terms of our GDP. It's worth $15 billion in terms of exports, and that has seen huge growth over the course of the last 5 years. And under the Meat Industry Strategic Plan, which was commissioned by ALEC, there's the potential for the sector to grow another $7 billion over the course of the next decade. These forums are about informing as well as challenging how we can realise that potential and how in partnership we can take it forward. Yesterday's sessions, I think, identified much of the opportunity. We've seen references to the rising incomes and the rising middle classes, if you like, in our region. It's a region that has the fastest growing GDP in the world. It's got the biggest population, and it's right on our doorstep. It's also a population and an opportunity where the demand for protein rises, as we've seen yesterday in the graphs, with the rise in income. And as we've also seen, that protein component has a strong preference for red meat, and it has a strong identification for the quality of the Australian brand. Now, they're all elements, quite frankly, that position us in a huge way. We also heard yesterday about the importance and renewed interest for investment in the agriculture sector, in ag tech, and in terms of those initiatives that lift productivity and strengthen supply chains. The challenges, well, they're many. We've seen the importance of getting the supply chain right. We've been told that the consumer is king. We've been told that we've got to reinforce and underpin the strength and the quality of the brand in terms of nutrition, in safety, and all of the things that go with it. We know our problems with market access, and we've heard that we have to keep investing in productivity and improvements in the logistics and supply chain, because that's going to help drive down the cost of production and also be able to influence that price factor that kept arising on many occasions. But perhaps by far the biggest challenge still is how we handle the animal welfare question. And as you know, the sector is committed to a no fear, no pain in terms of the animal right up until the point of slaughter. We are the only country in the world that requires the exporter to be responsible for the welfare of the animal up until the point of slaughter. This, of course, does put us at a competitive disadvantage, but unless we address it, we won't be talking competition at all. We will be out of the game. There are 130 other competitors for this trade. The OIE recognises that we are the world leaders in it, so if you take us out of the equation, you are not going to improve animal welfare. Now, it's for that reason that LIVECorp's biggest commitment in terms of its budget is in the space of animal welfare. And at our annual general meeting 2 days ago, there was unanimous endorsement by the membership to establish the LGAP company and to commit to working to strengthen the supply and traceability, to put more responsibility onto the facilities themselves and to develop a global standard. And the point made by David Galvin in the speech yesterday about lobbying the international trade organisations, the EU in particular, to themselves be requiring their exporters who are in the game to embrace the sort of standards we do is not only good for animal welfare, it levels the playing field in terms of competition. And so that is an initiative that not only all of us should be involved in, this is what we should be taking up with government as well as far as the negotiations are concerned. So, despite the tough trading circumstances, we have come a long way over the last 12 months, and I want to congratulate the sector for the commitment that it's continued to make despite the adversity and challenges that it's been confronted with. It is a crucial sector, we know that. It's a resilient sector. It's got great people in it, and it's a sector that's up for the challenge. I hope that the rest of today's session reinforces these important messages and we come out of it working together to realise the potential that's there, which is not only going to be good for your sector, it's going to be crucial for the country, but importantly, it is going to address the food security challenge that our neighbours yearn for. So with that, I declare open the second session of the conference and look forward to the contributions. Thanks very much.